desire to see, and in your presence is where we long to be.
So, marriage pa rin tayo. We are in the second Sunday na ating monthly topic. And our title now is like, what will you do if you are married to the wrong man? Mr. Wrong. Kung my Mr. Right, knight in shining armor, meron din tayo tinatawag na Mr. Wrong. Mr. Wrong in the sense na we met him in the wrong time, wrong place, gano'n ba? Hindi siya yung ideal man na I think we know who is married, yung mga kagarong mga married dito. Do you think you married the right man or Mr. Wrong? Hindi tayo nakakatiyak na. But then, Mr. Wrong, because in the sense that we think it's not the ideal man that God has prepared for us. Because somewhere along the way, we drifted in our knowledge of this, our conviction, and we married out of impulse, mga ganon. Or we were forced to do it, mga ganon. In the circumstances ba na ganon. So, we might have been, it might have been the right man, but we met him in the wrong place, in the wrong time. And so, ganon. Okay, so, I'm going to tell you a story actually. Or shall we, okay, I'll tell you a story about a man na he's a prominent man, and somehow he was deceived. He was tricked by a woman na nagkaroon sila ng one-night stand. And so, this man has a fiancé actually, na they were about to be married, and then, yun nga, he was tricked into sleeping with a woman na hindi naman yun ang gusto niya mapangasawa. And so, because he was a reputable man, a respected man, he has to take responsibility and marry this woman. Okay, so he called off the engagement, and then took this woman home, and of course they married. But then when she was in his house, she made her life miserable by making her just like a maid. Pagsilbihan mo ako, magdusa ka kasi ginawa mo ito sa akin. You destroyed my future. Parang gano'n. So, he let her serve him like a maid. And then of course, bihira siya umuwi. He can do whatever he wants. But when he goes home, he lets his wife serve him just like a servant or a maid. And so, yeah, but then the woman has to persevere kasi ginawa niya, pinili niya yun di ba? I mean, she suffered the consequence. She's it is the result of her trickery. Okay? But then, along the way with the marriage, the ex-fiancé of this man and the ex-boyfriend of this woman were conniving into destroying their marriage para maghiwalay sila. And of course, you know what they wanted. But then, it was discovered by the husband. And this kind of, nalaman niya na yung boyfriend pala ng asawa niya is his rival in business. And so, syempre, business-wise, he wants to destroy the man, yung ex-boyfriend ng kanyang asawa. And so, ganon. Parang ano lang. So, he stood up as a husband to his wife. Actually, pinaglaban niya yung asawa niya. I mean, they are married.
Yes.
So he has to honor that he has to like show that I am the husband, I should protect my wife. Somehow, kahit ganun yung ginawa ng kanyang asawa sa kanya, they were still married. So I had to be protective of my wife no matter what. Okay? And so, ganun, along the way, I think he has no choice but to just protect his wife, and maybe somewhere along the way they fell in love, So, yeah. And the idea is he still maintained the sanctity of the marriage, even though ganun yung trickery na ginawa ng kanyang asawa. He still honored the marriage, no matter how wrong it had been. Like, they started in a wrongful page, but then he ended up honoring the marriage anyway. Okay, and so we come to our text in Joshua chapter 9, verses 1 to 27. And this is the story of, actually it's a war. Yung, hindi mo akalain na marirelate ito sa marriage, no? It is a war between when Joshua was conquering. They entered the promised land actually, but they have still to conquer the natives of the land. Amorites, Jebusites, Hivites, ganun. They still have to fight them and take their territory. And now, here is the story. They took over Jericho, and then they camped in Gilgal, and they captured Ai, the city of Ai, which is actually a little bit little bit north of Judah, okay, Israel. And so, narinig ng mga neighboring kings itong ginawa ni pag-conquer ni Joshua sa Jericho and Ai. How he hanged the kings of this, paano nila pinatay, kinangker. They burned the cities and hanged the kings, ganun. And so, nag-usap-usap itong mga kings surrounding Joshua, and then they want to fight Joshua. But then, itong mga Gibeonites, they were very tricky. Sabi nila, magpanggap tayo na kawawa. So, nagbaon sila ng mga panis na bread, yung mga wineskins nila, of course, yung mga wineskins na pinaglalagyan ng mga tubig, animal skins. And then, nag-set out sila, yung mga sandals nila, parang kunyari, galing talaga sila sa malayong lugar. And so, they came to Joshua and said, please, let us have a treaty with you. Sabi nila, ay saan ba kayo galing? Baka lang naman nasa tabi lang kayo. Sabi ni Joshua, no, we came from very far. Look at this, our bread and our wineskins, our sandals are already worn out. They were still warm when we set out. But then we arrived here, it's already molded. Our sandals are already torn out, sabi nila. So, sa awa ni Joshua, I think he had some compassion or sympathy, So maybe they're telling the truth. And so, wala silang, they did not waste time. And the thing is, they did not inquire the Lord, says it in our text. And they made a treaty with him. And then after 3 days, sabi dyan sa nalaman nila na magkalapit lang pala sila. And so ano bang ginawa niya sa amin? You tricked us into signing treaty with you. Now, when they took the oath in God's name, they cannot revoke that because lahat ng mga elders nag-agree sa kanya. And so, they cannot break their promise. So, they have no choice but to honor their oath. So, ganun. They have to protect somehow, in honor of the oath na sinana nila in the name of God, they have to fight the fights of the Gibeonites, and the Gibeonites will in turn, partnership sila. And then, now, when the neighboring kings learned about this one, they want to They wanted to attack Gibeon. And so nalaman ito ni Joshua. And then the story goes, and Joshua mustered his soldiers and fought the fight of Gibeon. And sa continuation sa chapter 10, there was when the sun stood still. Do you know that? The sun stood still when Joshua, fought the fight of the Gibeonites. It was out of trickery na nagtinulungan nila. But they have to stand with the Gibeonites kasi they have an oath. They have the treaty. Okay, so you can now see how it is related intermarriage. Now, we go to our text. So what does the Bible say when we are with the wrong man? Ano bang sinasabi ng text natin when we are already with the wrong man? Nagkamali na tayo, or we took the decision already to marry this man na hindi tayo nag-ask, nag-pray sa Panginoon. Hindi tayo nag-consult sa Panginoon. Hindi tayo nag-wait. So, what does our text say? What does the Bible say? We can see here in our text in verse 18. But the Israelites did not attack them because the leaders of the assembly had sworn an oath to them by the Lord, the God of Israel. Ito yung inatake ng mga kalaban yung Gibeon. They learned the trickery of the Gibeonites, and they were the Israelites were about to, nagrarambol sila no gusto nilang, they were rambling against their leaders. But then, because of the oath na pinirmahan nila, they cannot attack them. They know they should not. Because they made a treaty in the name of God. So we cannot attack them because otherwise we will be cursed. Okay? So the point is, when we are with the wrong man, and we have been legally married already, we should honor the marriage anyway. We started in the wrong place, sabi nga natin kanina, but we should honor the marriage no matter what. Stand for it. It is not like, actually, in our legal law, pwede natin gawin itong ground for annulment. Kasi hindi sila nagpakilala ng maayos eh. Nag-impersonate sila. They lied. They didn't tell their identity correctly. It is one ground of filing an annulment sa marriage. But then, if it is in the name of God, you're still tied. You're still married. And annulment does not set you free from this sanctity of being married, especially in the name of God. So we have to honor the marriage anyway. Secondly, what do we need to do if we are with the wrong man? Okay, confront the problem or the issue, but keep working on your differences. You may have not known them or him properly, but you will imagine mo na lang you spend lifetime with this man. Wala kang choice kundi kilalanin na lang siya. Alam ka na nandun ka na In the name of the marriage na pinirmahan mo sa mata ng Panginoon, you have no choice but to know this man and be better wife to him. Diba? O sana all. Natawag yung asawa.
Nag-away tawag.
And yun nga, actually sabi sa 1 Corinthians 7, chapter 7, verse 12, yung text natin last Sunday. Can we have the PowerPoint, please? I think I put it in verse 12. Yun. To the rest, I say, I, not the Lord, if any brother has a wife who is not a believer and she's willing to live with him, he must not divorce her. And if a woman has a husband who is not a believer and he is willing to live with her, she must not divorce him. Otherwise, ang sabi, may talukong ko yun. For the unbelieving husband has been sanctified through his wife, and the unbelieving wife has been sanctified through her husband. Otherwise, your children will be unclean. But as it is, they are holy. Okay. Sabi niya eh. So we go back to our text last Sunday. We honor the marriage. Get to know your husband, or they may be also getting to know their wife. Okay. It's a two-way process, of course. But there is no way you can divorce him because it is a marriage, it is a union na inordain na ng Panginoon. It may be legally annulled sa law ng tao, but then in the eyes of God, you are still bound together. So, you have no choice. If you are a Christian wife, you have to honor the marriage. We must not separate from our husband. Otherwise, so if he is not a believer and he chooses to leave, sabi ni Paul, then let him go. But if he wants to stay, then let him stay. And your part in that marriage is to be a better wife, to be a witness of Christ to him. Because sabi nga, he is sanctified. I mean, you are not going to save him, but yung sanctification, ibig sabihin, na ano siya, na there's a chance na mahila siya sa kingdom ng Panginoon by your example as a wife, if you are the believing spouse. And same way, if he is the believing husband and we are the unbelieving wife, we are also sanctified through him. Okay, so divorce is not a topic. We are sanctified by our spouses. And you know, if that was not the case, then our children are unclean. Sabi niya. Otherwise, your children will be unclean. Kung hindi yun ang mangyayari. But then, that is the case na sinabi ni Paul. So, our children are sanctified also. You see? So, we as wives, I mean, I told you this last Sunday that this is how I viewed my marriage, because you will know later. Okay. So, yun. Magkukantong mamaya, but then I'll just about this one. And, yun, sabi si Malachi chapter 2, verse 15 to 16. Has not the Lord made them one? In the flesh and spirit, they are His. And why one? Because He was seeking godly offspring. So guard yourself in spirit, and do not break the faith with the wife of your youth. Sabi dito sa mga husbands ito, but it was equally applicable sa atin. I hate divorce, says the Lord God of Israel. And I hate a man's covering himself with violence, as well as his garment, says the Lord God, says the Lord Almighty. So guard yourself in your spirit, and do not break faith. Do not break faith with the wife of your youth, sabi niya. Okay, so divorce should not be in the picture. It was never God's plan for a married couple to divorce. It was never his intention na maghiwalay ang mga kasama. Just because it is legally we can do it in a civil way na pwede tayo maghiwalay. But yun nga, sabi natin, we are looking it in the perspective of God as Christians. Actually, meron sa sa program ng SMNI, yung about sa mga legal, mga marriage annulment, mga divorce, mga gano'n. It is actually nandoon sa mga live ng SMNI.
Kibulo yun.
Oo, kay Kibulo
Are they
yun.
approve of divorce?
Yeah, no, they have like this marriage counseling or like Q&A about how to do with their marriage. But then I was listening, and then they can assist these women or these married people na may problema sa marriage. But then, yun nga, as Christians, we go to the bottom line. This is not God's will for the family. We can be legally separated, but no, it is not. It should not be in a picture. Sabi ko, nakaka-tend din talaga na maghiwalay sa asawa. Actually, kung gusto nila, kagaya ko dyan. Kung sino sa inyo ang gustong mag-isip ko, if we could turn back time, di ba? Kung pwede lang sana, ibang i-turn yung orasan para maging single ulit tayo. But then, we're already here and we have no choice but to just honor the marriage. Because, Hindi mo yan eh. Okay, and then third, actually yan, sabi ni 1 Samuel 15:22, to obey is better than sacrifice, and to heed is better than a father, the fat of rams. Yeah, if we're sacrificing but not obeying, it is useless. Obey the commands of the Lord. We may be working here, providing for our families, but and then, dahil lang sa nagluko yung asawa natin, I can also do it here. Parang ganun. Para lang medyo mag-ratify yung revenge natin sa bitterness natin. And so, I say, if hayaan mo silang gawin yun, because after all, it is their responsibility sa Panginoon, especially if they have known the Lord already. It is their responsibility sa Panginoon, but keep ourselves pure here, because we know that, huwag mo nang dagdagan yung problema. Kung pwede, for the sake of peace, our peace of mind, huwag na natin dagdagan yung bato na ipupupol natin sa ulo natin. Keep ourselves pure. Honor our marriage. No matter what our spouses do, it is their responsibilities, their accountability sa Panginoon. Okay? And third thing is, we should be assertive and fight for our marriage as partners. Ito yung sabi ko kanina para kay Joshua. When the enemy was attacking the Gibeonites, he mustered his army and fought the fight of the Gibeonites. And there was the history that the sun stood still, and it was recorded as the longest day in the history of history since the creation of the world. Okay, it was the longest day when the sun stood still, because Joshua was fighting the fight of the battle of these Gibeonites. na nag-trick sa kanya. Actually, you can just like dismiss them na, oh sige, kayo na lang mag-defend sa sarili niyo kasi niloko niyo kami. Diba? Ganon. But when he fought the battle of his partner, likewise, yung kwento natin kanina, he may be treating his wife like a maid in his house, but then when he saw that his marriage was already at stake, he fought for his wife, for the sake of their marriage.
Desire to see, and in your